Today, I'm going to be walking you through step by step the updated version of how to upload videos to YouTube in 2026. Let's jump in. So first things first, I'm going to start by saying you want to make sure that you upload your videos through a desktop or a laptop. It's going to give you a lot more control, a lot more information that you're going to be able to add in there versus uploading it on your phone, especially when we're talking about long form videos. So we're going to head over to youtube.com, and first you just want to make sure you're in the right account. If you're like me, you have a couple of different YouTube channels, you want to make sure you're on the right one. So you just click on your little icon up here, make sure that says the channel you want it to, or you can always click on switch accounts and go to a different account that way. Next, all you need to do is click the plus icon here, and we want to upload video. Click on that. And then here you can either drag multiple files in here from your Explorer or wherever you have your file at, or you can select to upload the files from here. So I'm just going to select a file, and we're going to just click on a video here and say open. Now, as it's processing and uploading that video, we're going to optimize all of this information, the title, the description, everything that we need in here. So if my screen looks a little bit different than yours, that's because I'm using a tool called vidIQ. So the first thing we're going to do is write a compelling title. This is what pops up below your video, that it tells people what your video is about and hopefully entices them to click on that video. So by default, it's just going to use the title that is the name of the video file that you uploaded. In my case, it's Stop Posting Random Videos. And then up in the corner here, you can see it gives me a little number, 62. This is a vidIQ thing. This is part of their extension. And what that is that's a score based on how searchable that term is and how populated the results of that is based on the words that I am including in the title. So 62, the score is out of 100. So if you have 100, that's the best you can get. Closer to 0 is the worst you can get. So 62, it's even yellow, which is kind of in that mid-range, not great. If you click on it, it'll give you some more information here to say why that score is not as good as it could be. All right. Then below here, it gives you some suggestions of titles, and it gives you the score of those. So 86 is your video content strategy is broken. Here's what to do instead. I like that. I'm going to use that. So I click the check mark there. And you can see now my score is higher. The other thing that they recently included is an A/B test. So if you click on this, it gives you the option to add 3 more titles so that you can have those A/B tested through YouTube. And what that means is that as they put your video out in front of different audiences, they'll use one of these 3 titles and they'll grade which title gets more clicks than the other. And then you can set that as your primary one. So they give you 3 options. Let's pick 3 options. So I'll just pick the top 3 here, just like that. And we're going to set test. Now, as you're learning how to upload these videos, I do want to mention that if you're looking to grow your business on YouTube, I've got a free resource that I want to share with you. It's a complete guide to YouTube for business. Now, this covers how to optimize your content for the algorithm, which video formats drive the most engagement, and how to measure performance and monetize your channel. Plus, as I mentioned, it's completely free. So click the link in the description and download it now. Next, we're going to go down here to the description. And you can see here, it's giving me a suggestion of the description. It's showing me some keyword phrases to include in there. And so we can just take this and say, I want to use that description. And then I can just hit the plus icon and add that description up here to my video. So we're going to delete some of this other information that I have in there as my default. And there you go. Now we have a strong description, a couple of keyword phrases that pop up in there, and that is good to go. And you can see over here, it also is giving you sort of some walkthrough of all the things that you need to do to make it even better. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a thumbnail. Now you can do an auto-generated thumbnail, which will take a screen grab from your video. Now my video is still uploading, so it is waiting to process those. But actually, I would recommend not doing just that. That'll just be sort of a random screenshot from your video and is never going to work too well for you. Instead, you can upload your own file here. And so if you look at this little question mark, it tells you exactly the expectations of what you need to have in the file to be able to upload, the file size, the parameters, all of that. So you can click on this, and then you just navigate to wherever you have that thumbnail stored. So there it is there. Click open, and there's the thumbnail. Okay. And again, you have the option to also do an A/B test here, which will set a new test. And now you can add additional thumbnails to that to try to test those out. So we'll try that one, add another one, and go like that. Okay. Set the new test. And again, it's going to test those thumbnails alongside those titles to find the best combination to get the most clicks to your video. Really kind of a handy tool in there. Next option is to set a playlist. I always recommend using a playlist to put your videos in. This is just so that it keeps things organized, but also a playlist can be promoted on its own. So it's like another asset that gives another option for people to click on your video. So we're going to just go through here. We're going to add this to the video sales funnel, and we'll go done. Now, the next question here is about your audience. And this question kind of gets people tripped up sometimes. It's asking whether or not the video is made for kids or not. And this is purely just based on the COPA Act around which ads that they can put in front of the video. And so a lot of people tend to think that like, oh, unless my content is very mature or adult, I should say that it's safe for kids. And that's not how you should answer it. You should answer it if you're making content specifically for kids, meaning kids are your audience, then you want to say, yes, it's made for kids. Otherwise, all other content, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you want to say, no, it's not made for kids. So in my case, my video is talking about marketing tips for videos. Kids can watch that. There's nothing harmful in the video for kids to watch, but kids are not my target audience. And so if I say, no, it's not made for kids, that's simply saying that my content is not specifically directed at kids and they can serve whatever ads that they want before that. And so actually from a paid monetization sense, you would be better off saying it's not made for kids unless, again, it's specifically made for kids. Okay. And then here you check this box if it's a paid promotion, meaning somebody paid you to make that video for a product or service that you're advertising in there. They have a question here about whether it's altered content with AI, which I did not alter this content through AI. And then as you go through here, they have some additional information that you don't need to worry about right now. And then next you can kind of scroll through here and you see here automatic chapters. So what this does is this is going to automatically write out chapter markers in your video denoting different topics. So people could click on that and go directly to the topic. You also have the option to add chapters in your description if you just write the time code and when the new subject starts and the time code when the next subject starts, and people can use that for your time codes. Otherwise, you can just allow YouTube to do it itself. All right, allow automatic places, automatic concepts. We'll leave that. And then next is the tags. This is one, again, people get hung up on. Tags are not as important as they used to be on YouTube. Tags used to be a very important way of telling people, and more importantly, the algorithm, what your video is about. Tags are featured less and less in importance as far as YouTube is concerned. AI models and ways of reading and absorbing your content on the machine side is getting so strong that YouTube pretty quickly can tell what your video is about, and it doesn't rely as much on you to tell it what the tags are. However, it's still an option to add tags. So I always recommend adding a few tags in there just that are specific about your video. There's no sense in adding ones that aren't what your video about to try to get people to click on it because YouTube is just too smart for that now. And you can see again, vidIQ is going to give you a couple of suggestions down here of tags. And so I just go through, I click on the suggestions that they offer. And again, you could upgrade to get more from there. You want to make sure you select your language. This is going to help both in the region or the language speaking areas that your video is going to be served to, but also is going to help the transcribe feature, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Okay, and then you can answer these questions as you wish, pick a category that makes sense, And really, I typically just kind of leave those as is. Okay. Then we click next. And here are some elements. So you want to go to the subtitles. And this is what I was talking about. As long as, now it's still processing the video, but it will include your subtitles over here, or you can upload those if you have those on a separate file. So you can check that out. And then your end screen. This is really important. I always like adding an end screen, which gives people the option when they get to the last 20 seconds of the video to either click on the next video, subscribe. And this is really crucial for YouTube. They really reward videos that increase watch sessions, meaning once people land on your video, they continue watching more videos on YouTube, whether it's yours or somebody else's. So it might as well be yours. So what I usually do, unless I have a specific video that I'm sending people to, I will allow it to pick best for viewer. I allow YouTube to decide, hey, this would be a really good video of your channel for the viewer to watch next, and let them pick that. Now, what's nice about that is it's different for each viewer. So sometimes if you pick a specific video, maybe that viewer has already seen that video and they're not going to click on it. In this way, it will go either it's the most recent or it's another topic that aligns with what that viewer typically watches. And then it's always a nice way to have people subscribe by leaving that on there. Okay, so then you just click save and click next. It's going to run through some checks to make sure there's no copyright or music that you're using or anything like that. And then click next again, and it's going to give you the visibility here. Now, this here, we can either private means nobody can see it unless they are signed into your account. Unlisted means anybody can see it if they have the link. And then public is everybody on YouTube can be able to see that. The other option is you can schedule it for a later time. Now again, down here, vidIQ is saying if I upgrade, it'll show me exactly the best time and day to post a video. So that's a really handy tool that I like using to go, I don't want to make it public right now, but I want to schedule it for tomorrow at 8 o'clock because I know more people are going to have the chance of seeing it then. So we're just going to say we want to schedule that out for, let's just say Monday at 8 a.m. If you don't have enough information on your channel to tell you when to post that video, then I usually just recommend picking a good time that works best for you. Usually earlier in the week or later in the week seems to work best, generally speaking, when people are on YouTube. But also, if you're releasing regular videos, it's a good thing to just sort of set a routine or schedule for yourself. The other thing I recommend is make it a time when you can be online, especially when you have a small audience, especially when you're just starting out. I think it's always a good habit to get into to post it while you are near your computer or available, so that if somebody comments on a video or likes it, you can respond to that right away and say, hey, thanks for watching the video. Let me answer a question for you, or whatever the case is. Okay. And once you get to this point, all you need to do is click schedule and your video will go live at your scheduled time. Now you can see here also vidIQ is giving you the option to create shorts from your video, which is another great tool that vidIQ provides for you. And so with that, you've now posted your first video for your channel. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.